know anything about her condition, if she's okay?
I do not. Right now, you're being arrested for child endangering at a felony level, okay?
Felony?
Yes.
This is Rubia Mubali, and it'll shock you what she's getting arrested for.
305.
She's still breathing.
It's hard to imagine mothers as killers, but when they get caught, they get exposed for who they really are. Like Alexi over here, whose family didn't know of the terrible things she did until the police came knocking on her door.
Open count of homicide and tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
Yes.
But before we get to that, here's a mother who tried her best to shake the police off her tail, but ended up exposing what she did. Back in late May of 2024, Janet Garcia was being questioned following the investigation of the disappearance of her son. The first thing that made police pin her as a suspect was the bloodstains on her shoes and a roughed up shirt.
You
Got some blood drops on your shoes.
Yeah. So my son fell this morning earlier.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I was able to take him to the doctors and everything was okay. I took him with another lady so she can watch him for me because I wasn't staying at home. I had problems going on with my parents and they didn't let me in the house.
But her explanation for that made her look even more suspicious. When authorities weren't convinced about her story, they decided to ask her more questions in the hope of making sense of everything. But the more questions they asked, the more confused they got.
Do you know where he is?
No, I know where he is. I know where he's at.
Tell me where he's at.
I don't have the address for him.
Okay, how can we find the address for him?
I don't know.
Did you put it in your phone?
No.
But when she said she didn't know the address or have the contact of the woman she dropped her son off with, the police knew she was definitely hiding something.
Tell me the location where somebody could go and check on him and make sure he's okay.
In like SeaTac area.
Okay.
Seattle.
More specific?
I don't
Is it
have an address.
Okay, what's her name?
Alika. That's all I know. Alika Bone.
Alika Bone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you've known her? Okay.
That's when they resorted to asking other eyewitnesses in the hopes of getting a reasonable lead.
Daniel told me that her mom was calling because they can't find her son. And her mom went to her house and saw blood. I don't know how dramatic it was, but saw blood. I don't know where, but just saw blood. And they can't find her son. And then she's over here, and Daniel, my brother, where's your son? He's with my mom. And her mom's calling over here saying he can't find her son. I mean, there's a bad connection there. I don't know if she's lying, crazy, I don't know.
Only then did they start to make real progress, and the more time that Janet spent with them, the more apparent it became that she was responsible for her child going missing. And when she asked this question, it all but confirmed it.
You guys are not able to find him. Like, what can happen?
What it's looking like right now is that we're going to need to stay with you until we find him. Because it sounds like you said you know where he is, you know where you left him.
Right.
So it shouldn't be an issue, right?
She was taken to the police station where she was locked up, and by the end of the investigation, she was found guilty of murdering her 4-year-old child, whose body was found 3 miles from where she was staying. Crystal Candelario was just another mother who had decided to go on vacation to Puerto Rico, but what makes her a heartless human is the fact that this trip came at the expense of someone's life, her own daughter. While she was gone for over a week, she had left her daughter home alone. And there was no lie that she could tell authorities that would have her off the hook.
In the last week, she get a vomiting too. Remember right now, you mentioned the vomiting. She get a vomiting the last week, Monday and Tuesday, 2 times. But I was trying controlling because I know I give to her Tylenol or something, for...
Yeah.
Her account of events was completely falsified because the dates she gave were when she would have been in Puerto Rico. And it seemed she had already spoken to anybody close to her to give them a story similar to hers, because when they questioned her aunt, she also didn't mention anything about Crystal traveling.
And I want the best for her, but if she doesn't allow me to
help her or give her advice, so I just step up.
Okay.
So those issues, everybody has in their family.
Yeah,
and
of
then-
course, yeah.
But medical examination showed that her baby died a very slow and painful death, and Crystal had no one to blame but herself.
Approximately a 7-pound weight loss since her previous doctor's visit less than 2 months prior to that. The eyes were sunken, and she had temporal wasting in her face. In addition to that, the skin showed markedly decreased turgor, meaning when I pinch the skin, it remains in that tented position, indicating severe dehydration.
This baby loved her mother. She needed her mother, and her mother betrayed her.
What initially seemed like child endangerment turned into a murder case, and Crystal was sentenced to life in prison without the hope of parole. On April 5th, 2018, emergency workers were alerted by Gina Pratt about her daughter Charlotte's chronic condition. When they got there, they found out that Gina's 18-month-old baby wasn't breathing and was cold. She was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead a day later. But when investigators started digging into things, they found out that Charlotte may have been killed. When Gina was brought into questioning, they asked her standard procedure questions about the sequence of events that happened that day. Unbeknownst to Gina, an autopsy conducted showed that her baby was poisoned with fentanyl, and that detective was trying to get all the facts he could before dropping the bomb on her.
Did you put anything in the sippy cup?
No, there was red liquid in it, and I know we had Huggies.
Yeah, I remember seeing some Huggies in there.
To be more specific, Happy Drink Huggies.
He even went as far as asking her about her online shopping history. And when the detective saw that Gina was either clueless or playing dumb, that was when he decided to drop the bomb.
Did you get anything delivered in the mail from overseas?
I had just ordered her entire room from Walmart. I don't know if that came from overseas or not.
So just to be clear, the stuff that was in that sippy cup, you did put in or you did not?
I did not.
Your child died from fentanyl poisoning.
But that made the whole investigation take a drastic turn. Gina became defensive and passive-aggressive instead of cooperative, which raised a lot of eyebrows.
I don't know anything about fentanyl.
Okay. Did you ever put anything in her sippy cup other than Huggy juice?
She's drank water. She's drank milk. She's drank Kool-Aid.
When it seemed that the detective had hit a roadblock, Gina was more concerned about the possibility of going to jail than justice for her daughter. And that's when the interrogation session ended.
Manufacturing issue with the Happy Drinks?
So you think it could have been the Huggy?
Yes. And as a matter of fact, I took a sip of those Huggies and it didn't really have a pleasing taste to it.
We tested the Huggies. No fentanyl.
So what are you implying?
I'm asking.
A year later, Gina Pratt was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, which would have her serve up to a decade behind bars. She's lucky she wasn't convicted of murder because she would be spending longer in jail. But 10 years for someone who could show so little remorse for the death of her own daughter. On January 8th, 2024, officers got a distress call in Columbus, Ohio, about a child being unresponsive. When the officers got to the location of the distress call, nothing could prepare them for what they were about to see.
Yeah, good.
The apartment they entered looked like a ruckus, and they couldn't believe that anyone lived there. But they got to searching, and what they found was truly heartbreaking. They found a little girl covered in bugs next to a dirty mattress. She looked frail and weighed only 16 pounds.
Oh, she's still breathing. She's still breathing. Let's go. Let's go. She's still breathing. Get a light.
After getting the little girl to safety, authorities were able to get a hold of Robia Mubali, the girl's mother, and spoke to her. She kept asking about her daughter's safety while being cooperative with authorities, but little did she know the implications of what the police had found. They questioned her, but what they discussed isn't disclosed from the body camera footage. But when she was getting arrested, she was confused until a police officer explained just why she had to go to jail.
Do you know anything about her condition? If she's okay?
I do not. Right now, you're being arrested for child endangering at a felony level. Okay.
Felony level?
Yes.
If Mubali really didn't want to face prison, she should have thought more about her daughter's safety. Robia Mubali faces up to 12 months in prison for her actions. And if anything, she should be lucky her daughter was strong enough to survive those appalling conditions, because if she didn't, Robia would have been facing a homicide case and a longer sentence behind bars. When police were alerted about the death of 2 kids who died by drowning and one of them having stab wounds, they knew they were dealing with a serious homicide case, but they were shocked when they found out who committed the murder. All evidence pointed to the deceased's 27-year-old mother as the culprit. She was a single mother who was with her boys the whole time, so no one else could have committed this heinous crime but Naomi Elkins. When police arrested her, she wore an emotionless face, much like that of any cold-blooded killer.
Alright, just turn around, it's probably easier, and then just kind of sit back into the seat for me, okay? No, here. Like, turn around. There you go, and then just sit back into the seat. There you go.
Yeah, you step out. Okay? Yeah. All right, you can walk. You can go ahead and make a left. Or make a left or... Okay, all right.
When she got to the station, she was crying, but you can't help but wonder if she was remorseful for the murders or if she was sorry that she got caught. When a newborn baby was found in the trash can of a New Mexico hospital bathroom, investigators were led to the Treviso residence after 4 months of intense investigations. When authorities got to her residence, they were greeted by Alexi's mother, who wasn't taking their presence quite lightly.
Search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
Yeah, once we she gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there? Will you take her up there?
You can go to the...
Yeah, let me know what she's under arrest for. For what? For what? For what?
Are you okay with telling us?
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
It took a bit of explaining to catch her up to speed about what was going on and that they weren't here for her, but for her daughter. After speaking for a while, Alexi's mother went to get her, and she was distraught at the thought of her 19-year-old daughter going to prison over something she had no clue about.
Alexi, are you okay with your mom getting your criminal complaint when we get to the detention center? It has your personal information on it.
Can you repeat that?
Are you okay with your mother getting the criminal complaint? It has your personal identifying information on it. Serial number, date of birth.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Alexi did comply with the authorities and followed them to their vehicle. Alexi was charged with not only child abuse, but first-degree murder. Alexi Treviso is currently in prison, serving the sentence for her crime. Back in July of 2024, police would get a dispatch call of a mother looking for her child, and from her voice, you could tell that she was really distraught over not seeing her son.
What time was the last time you seen him?
We all went to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. My back door was wide open. Oh man.
When officers got to the premises, LaShonda Wilder said she hadn't seen her child since the night before. She told authorities that her son had ADHD and lives with her and her girlfriend along with his 2 other siblings. Officers resorted to asking the neighbors of the child, but that seemed unproductive, so they put out a missing poster for young Martonio. But when police found out that LaShonda Wilder and her other two went back to her residence and didn't find anyone home, they knew something was wrong. And that's when they stumbled across evidence in their home that painted a whole different picture.
75 pounds, break. He was last seen about 9:30, 10 o'clock last night when they went to bed. There's no forced entry to the rear door in this house. No? Alright. No, he ran away. Hey guys, how are you? I want to see you guys. See this kid? Come over here. I want to see if you seen him recently. Missing.
Oh, it's a kid? Oh,
Yeah, missing a kid. You seen him recently?
Oh, he scared me. Is that the only picture?
Yeah, that's the recent one. Have you seen him recently?
Show him.
No?
Martonio's body was hidden in the attic and found to have bruise marks all over it. Authorities later found LaShonda and her girlfriend and took them into custody, but not without a hassle.
Okay, come on up. You Miss Lowe? Okay. Put your hands behind your back, palms together like you're praying. I'm going to detain you in handcuffs, okay? You got shoes under?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Step over here with me.
All right.
We need Miss Lowe's cell phone. If somebody's
Still got a cell phone, still got a cell phone.
Okay, so what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Hey guys, I'm still talking, okay? What's gonna happen is I need everybody to leave the house because we're house. You have to immediately exit.
What are you talking about? And my kid here, what are you talking about?
Yeah. You can go in the car.
Man,
Anybody else want to know?
My bro. Sorry. Sorry.
Hey, get off my. Get the off.
No! He ain't do nothing! Stop! Roll over! Roll over! Put your hands behind your back!
How could a woman do this to her child, then go ahead and put up false pretenses that she knew nothing about it? LaShonda and her accomplice confessed to the crime and are being charged with murder and going to the only place a killer belongs, jail. And there you have it, chilling moments when killer moms realize they've been caught. Which case did you find the most horrific? Let us know in the comment section.